Well, what is up, everybody? It's time for me to react to another Schmoedown match in singles play. This time it's between Diamond Dave Del Rio versus Frank Bam Bam Moran. And obviously, as you can see, I'm wearing the Dungeon t-shirt, which is kind of an interesting thing because that is the faction that Diamond Dave Del Rio happens to be on. Which, you know, I mentioned an interesting thing. So very interesting with Diamond Dave Del Rio. I mean, he started out, well, obviously factionless because the faction structure wasn't a thing yet, at least not the way that it is today. When he came into the league, got drafted into the Stars, didn't do quite as well on the Stars. I think he won one match, lost another, and didn't really compete too much last year. Was drafted into the Den at the beginning of the year, and very recently traded to the Dungeon. So he had a very interesting journey in the Schmoedown. And Frank Moran, I think he was recruited last season during free agency. If not, could be wrong about this. Maybe he was recruited in the draft early in the year and then just really hadn't played until the second half of the year. Something like that. But yeah, two really good players. I know more about Diamond Dave than I do about Frank Moran. So that's why I went with the Dungeon, because it's one of those times where I just don't really know who to root for, because I don't particularly prefer one over the other. But maybe this match could change my mind. Maybe I can grow to really like one of these guys. I believe Frank Moran is on Swag this season, which I do believe he was on Swag last season, I think. I'm not 100% sure of that. But yeah, I'm just wasting time talking about these players. Obviously, I'll be playing myself, so yeah, the usual stuff. Don't expect too many correct answers from me because it's singles. And let's start the match and hope my bandage is going to hold up till the end of this one. Here we go. Whoa. Well.
Today is officially the first episode of
I wore the right hoodie today.
I mean, if these dicky-doos aren't going to give old Trashmouth his own show, I figured I'd invent one. I mean, it is the digital age, after all.
For now.
My first guest on Kaiser's Corner is a future superstar of this league. You see, what I do is I spot talent, and then I turn them into legends. And people are mostly dumb in this world. And when they're dumb, I capitalize. And nothing is more true to that statement as I reintroduce a real diamond in the rough to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. David Del Rio.
Oh, I like that. I like that, Mr.
He looks good.
Thank you, Kaiser.
He looks like he's really fitting well in the dungeon so far.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine. So, Diamond Dave. As I said earlier, most people are stupid. The Den let you go in free agency. How do you feel about that?
Gotta say, relieved. My talents were being wasted over there, and I knew the calling was elsewhere, and boy, am I so glad that you answered that call.
You could say that again. I mean, with the amount of ham and eggers that Kate has over there in that faction, she should open a Waffle House, not a trivia camp. All right, so today you get to embarrass Swag, which isn't very difficult. And your first opponent since joining the dungeon is somebody named Moran. Did I get that right? Who is this person?
I think last season he also went up against him and he called him
and what do you plan
Frank
to do to
Moran or something like that.
I'm going to be planning on Foo fighting him today. Look, I'm going to do my talking, answering questions, okay? So the fans know what I can do. You know what I can do. And I'm going to show Swag today what Diamond Dave can do.
I love it, and I couldn't have said it better myself. So, what have we all learned here today on Kaiser's Corner? Well, number one, most people are idiots unless they're named Kaiser. And number two, now I got my own show. So sign the check, Harloff.
Nice.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the movie Trivia Schmoedown. I'm just Mark Baby Carrots Ellis. What I want isn't important. Who I am, of course not. But the gentleman I am calling this match with, that is the one and only. Some call him the BOAT, Mr. Brad Gilmore on loan from the FCL. Brad, first and foremost, what an amazing job you and Steph are doing over on the FCL. Thank you for gracing us here today with your presence.
Hey, no. Thank you for having me, and a big shout out to Steph Sabra, who's been rocking it and killing it over there on the FCL. Big shout out to the SS Sabra. If I'm the BOAT, she's the SS Sabra.
Nice.
But nevertheless, Mark Ellis, man, I'm just
Sabra.
honored to be in your presence today to call another incredible matchup here in the MTS.
That's right. You are the champion announcer of the First Class League, and it's a pretty first-class matchup we have here today with Diamond Del Rio once again appearing in a match. This time he's taking on Frank Bam Bam Moran, who had a tough outing against James the Jet White. So now he's 0-1. Diamond David Del Rio 1-3, but that record doesn't really speak to Del Rio's career thus far because he had a barn burner when we last saw him against Chance Ellison, took him all the way to sudden death.
And that's the thing. That's the thing sometimes when you look at these records from guys who have played a handful of matches, but really you got to think about, okay, they're 1-3. Who are those 3 losses to? Oh, it's Chance Ellison in sudden death. Maybe this guy's onto something. Maybe he's got some credibility and ability. Same thing with Frank Moran. Frank Moran 0-1. It does not show us anything really about who he is as a performer. Look, for all my MMA fans out there, Brock Lesnar, when he made his debut in the UFC, yeah, he was 0-1 as well. He went on to win the heavyweight championship of the world. So we cannot let the records determine what we feel about these players. I think both of these guys are hungry and ready to get another victory added into that record that we've been discussing.
And checking the tape, it's 2 minutes in, and we got our first MMA reference from Brad Gilmore. Well done, sir. And so you look at their respective factions as well. Some points are on the line here. Now, the Dungeon has been in the lead for the better part of the season thus far, but they've had a few stumbles recently. Obviously, some huge wins thus far, but they also, you look at Robert Parker versus Chandru, and so you have to keep accruing points each and every month here in the Schmoedown. It is Season 8, and it's a season-long event, so you cannot rest on your laurels because, as we saw last season, Team Swag, they have some magic in their shoes occasionally. Could we start to see that today?
You know what? At any point, as you know, as a longtime fan of any sport, at any point, everything can start to turn around for you. In the middle of the season, everyone can start clicking together, and the team and the faction can start having what I call the dog. They can start having the dog in them and just go and tough it out and find themselves maybe in the finals for the championship. You never absolutely know what's going to happen in this league. I think that right now Swag is in a great position to try to start mounting a comeback. The Dungeon, a team who, when they walked in from day one, when we knew what their makeup was going to be as a faction, we knew, okay, this is going to be the team to beat. When you're the team to beat, heavy is the head that has the crown, and we will see if they can hold on to that after today.
Momentum is a fickle mistress, but something that is always reliable. Some sweet promos. Here's another one.
You want to talk about
Yeah,
swag?
Vicky!
Look at those choppers. Not only do I breed champions, I breed championship level pigs.
Wait, did he breed him or did he purchase him? I'm confused.
Hey, David Del Rio, come to the den, will you, boo-boo?
Frank Janish, David Del Rio, another well-dressed competitor, has now entered the Schmoedown once again.
This is a pretty good pick at this spot. I mean, David Del Rio's had really solid showings.
He's very invested in the Schmoedown. It's not one of those players that are like, I don't know the rules, I'm not really sure. He's an invested player.
We've seen him win matches in the past. We've seen him play exceptionally well in his losses.
He had one match last year in the tournament and took Chance into overtime.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good player.
Thanks, Kate O'Sullivan, for dropping Diamond David Del Rio. Now he's in a real faction with a real mascot and a real manager. Someone who can help him realize his full potential in the Schmoedown.
That's a player who, win or lose against Frank Moran is very good at Schmoedown.
Frank Bam Bam Moran. When you go back to see what Frank did in his one teams match that he had And then in the free-for-all a couple seasons back, the guy was playing lights out. He stayed on the table longer than a lot, and I couldn't believe that he wasn't drafted.
Frank played an incredible match, man. Like he was stealing points and blowing through stuff and didn't feel any faltering at all.
We're going to see him back. There's no doubt about it from the way he performed here today.
I was tasting a chance of to see what Schmoedown victory would be like. And James came in and just clutched it out at the end.
Listen, if I'm going to play and I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose by 1. That I can promise.
He's coming to take out people, starting with you, Frank Moran.
You know, there's so much movie I need to see that stars Hulk Hogan. I don't know, playing this match was a punishment for my absence or an opportunity, but I take it as an opportunity. I can guarantee that I'm going to give anybody watching a show, and I'm ready to play to win.
Drip. Better get your pipes clean, pal.
Interesting journey for both these gentlemen, Bam Bam and Diamond. David Del Rio, a nickname I will never get tired of jumping to say. And so they're ready to go. They're locked and loaded. And their managers, Kaiser, Winston Marshall, you're never going to get a shortage of nouns and verbs from those two fellas.
Absolutely not. And you never know exactly what either one of them are going to say or how they're going to act, what they're going to be wearing, or what accent they're going to be having this on any particular day. I will say these two, much like all managers, it seems like they have these everlasting feuds with one another, as they should. I mean, they're trying to best one another at every turn. But these two in particular, I feel like there's an energy between these two guys that every time that they have two competitors battling, you better, as Samuel L. Jackson once said, hold on to your butts.
Yeah, you say energy, I say oil and water, and those are probably not going to mix here today, but one is going to get a big victory, so it's time to see some dinosaurs, I guess, based off Mr. Gilmore's metaphor. Are you ready, sir?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia Schmoedown.
Love the new logo.
Introducing first.
Representing Swag. With a record of 0 wins and 1 defeat, ladies and gentlemen, make some room for Frank Bam Bam Moran.
There is Bam Bam. He's got the hands of stone locked and ready to go. Bam Bam, we mentioned up top, tough L for your debut Schmoedown match to James the Jet White. You gave him all he wanted here today. So now how do you approach this match? What's going to get you over the top and get that first W against Diamond Dave?
Yeah, it's one of those things that they said it best in the song. You get knocked down, you get back up again. So they're never going to bring me down. So, just Chumbawamba is, my guiding light for this.
Gonna say MMA and Chumbawamba references so far, Brad.
I mean, we're really killing it so far in the early goings today. But Frank, you have somebody, in your corner, like your manager, the man himself, Winston Marshall. What has he been doing to make sure to guide you to this first victory? Have y'all had a lot of study sessions? Is it more he's a spiritual advisor for you at this point? What has Winston's influence been?
Well, I mean, it's not just the Schmoedown. I mean, it is just life in general. He's not just a spiritual advisor; he's a Renaissance man. So sure. He and the faction have been fantastic in not just helping me train for this, but just how to, proper table manners. How to hit that heavy bag, how to make sure I'm hydrated properly. They've helped me in all aspects.
I would agree with that. Winston Marshall, the hitch to my whoever Kevin James played in that movie. So now it's time to meet Bam Bam's opponent.
And his opponent, representing the dungeon.
With a record of 1 win and 3 defeats, this is
he never won
Diamond
that again?
David Del Rio.
Okay. No, starting to get the.
I'm trying my entrances, but yeah, that'll do for now.
You are a method performer at heart, sir. So it's been a minute since we've seen you, and we brought up your very tough sudden death loss to Chance Ellison. So, Diamond, how did you rebound from that and prepare for this match? Was that something that you had to emotionally build yourself back up from, or did you leave that match saying, hey, I just gave one of the best ever to play the game all he could handle. I'm ready for anyone in this league.
Well, first of all, great to see you, Mark. I've been waiting to be in the same room as you, and also Brad. Pleasure to meet you. If we were doing this in the studio, I'd come out and shake your hands and then take my post. I think that what matters to me is I give the people what they want, which is a show. And I think that I remember when I was playing that match, all I can think about was, really? Me? Against Chance Ellison, that's what you're going to throw me in, and I was really proud of the game that I put on. But at the end of the day, I just want to give the fans and audience what they want, which is a nail biter. And so after that match, I had fire in me, and I was looking forward since then to the next match, and I'm really glad to be here today.
David, how do you feel now being aligned with the Dungeon and Kaiser? Kaiser is a cult of personality all in his own right. How do you feel about now having him in your corner?
He's a fabulous and really specific trainer. And when we talk about, or when we study for the matches, we had just one real big, long time practice. But we would just talk about movies on the side and kind of realize together, oh, wow, that happened? Oh, wait, that's an interesting fact. And, it's been a real pleasure to be part of the Dungeon, to join the Dungeon, and to be part of Kaiser's team.
And there are the competitors. They're locked, loaded, ready to go. So now it's time for round number 1, and the rules of said round are as follows. 8 questions will emerge from 8 different categories of movie trivia, Schmoedown goodness. Each question is worth 1 point. There's no penalty for missing a question, and there is no stealing, at least not in round number 1. We'll ask the question. Once we do, you have 15 seconds to write down your best attempt at an answer with whatever writing surface you prefer. Once we ask you by name or nickname, please show what you wrote to your camera. At the same time, you verbalize your attempt into the microphone. I'll remind each competitor that you have 3 usages of the JTE rule throughout the duration of the match. That's your repeat. You're not sure you heard a question right, you want to buy yourself another 15 seconds, use a jeté rule. You also each have 1 challenge you can utilize at any point throughout the 3-round match. We'll bring in managers, we'll deliberate, and it will ultimately be your manager that confirms and ratifies if said challenge is taking place. Frank Bam Bam Moran, do you understand the rules as I've read them to you, and are you ready to go?
Yes, sir. I'm scared for my life.
Diamond David Del Rio, maybe you're the one putting the fear in that heart. Are you ready to go, sir?
Same, but looking forward to it.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown!
Whew, that's a lot of gusto. It's a lot of gusto, folks. And administering the question to kick us off, Mr. Gilmore, at your ready.
All right, gentlemen, your first question is in the category of horror/thriller. What actor starred in the films Instinct, Red Dragon, and The Right?
Brad, I know how my usual announcing partner feels about horror movies.
I'm sorry, I picked up the whiteboard and marker.
Not a fan.
That was prematurely on my part. I apologize.
4. I'm just looking for a friend. 3, 2,
shouldn't have done
1.
that.
Pens down, gentlemen, and let's go to Diamond Dave first.
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
That is who we were looking for. Did Bam Bam have it?
I went OG and went Brian Cox.
Okay, so it is an early miss for Moran, and we move on to question 2. In the world of, we go from thrillers and horror to mystery, and that question for a point. Jared Harris plays the literary criminal Professor Moriarty in what 2011 mystery movie sequel?
See, mystery movies I'm all about. Thriller I can get behind. Horror, it's just not my thing. Although my mother did text me the other day and say she was going to go see the new Chris Rock comedy Spiral. I don't think it worked out well for her.
4, 3. Someone check on the votes, Mom. 2, 1. Pens down. Let's go to your first Bam Bam. Did you have this one?
Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows?
Yeah.
We can accept that. And David Del Rio.
Sherlock
with an
Holmes,
A.
Game of Shadows.
That is
Dang
correct.
it.
And so both competitors
Why
maneuvering
is
a tough
writing
name
so
for a very
hard?
well-made sequel
Well,
there,
if
Brad.
this was
All right,
an
and here we
official match, I
go.
wouldn't have gotten
Category
it.
number 3,
However,
question
if this was
number
an
3
official match, I
in
would have asked for a
dramas.
JTE.
The 2020 film Mank depicts the writing of what legendary film that was directed by Orson Welles?
It's a good question. It's kind of a question within a question in a way.
It's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. It's an enigma, really. Shout out to PJ.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
An enigma in his own right.
Del Rio, is it an enigma for you, sir?
The Citizen Kane of movies.
That is correct.
what I
Pretty
did
good movie.
there?
How about Moran?
Citizen Kane.
He's back on the answering train, correct with his last 2 questions. It is 3-2. And your next
I was putting
category,
too much effort into the
we
impression.
saddle up for the world of westerns. And for a point, who stars as Sam Chisholm, leader of a group of gunslingers for hire in the 2016 remake, The Magnificent Seven?
So it's a prerequisite for me being from Texas to like westerns. But let me ask you, I don't like horrors, but do you like westerns?
Love me a good western. I just don't like when everybody compares Star Wars to that. It's a western, it's good. Pens down, and we go to Bam Bam.
Jeff
Denzel
Bridges?
Washington.
That is correct, and Del Rio to remain perfect.
I guarantee Denzel Washington.
That is correct.
Bridges
He
was in
is
the movie.
up
Am I
4
correct
to
in that?
3. He's got a
Assuming
1-point
that?
lead.
All right, let's see if he can keep his perfect rounds thus far going. Question number 5 is in fantasy science fiction. Will Smith plays General Cypher Rage in what sci-fi adventure film from director M. Night Shyamalan?
Okay, look, I know that you're a big movie character name guy. Where does Cypher Rage rank?
Very low.
That's awesome.
That is terrible.
What?
Okay. Well, agree to
M. Night
disagree.
Shyamalan
3,
movie did
2,
Will Smith
1.
appear in?
Pens down.
Trying to
A
run
hearty
through the
disagreement.
list.
Mr. Del Rio.
Is it After Earth?
It is After Earth, and Miranda, stay one behind.
See,
After Earth.
He got it, and I think
that
I might have
movie
been the
came to
person to
my
like that
mind.
movie, so I'll
It's
have to
just,
revisit it. Your
for some
next
reason,
question,
I
gentlemen.
had the movie
Your
in my
6
head,
of 8
but I
in
thought
round
it was
1 is in the
Elysium.
category of
Clearly a
90s
different
movies.
movie. But,
And it is,
yeah, it was,
which
I had the right
actor
movie in
starred
mind.
in the films The Grifters, Grosse Point Blank, and Con Air?
Which one of those is your go-to?
I think you know the answer.
I think that I know the answer to that as well. And we need an answer.
I can't
5,
even think it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's go to Frank Moran first.
John Cusack.
Yeah, I said Nick
Is
Cage, 'cause
correct. He doesn't like to talk about Con Air too much. Does David Del Rio?
John Cusack.
He got it too, and so still a perfect round 1 so far for Diamond Dave, and Bam Bam putting up a good fight, just one behind.
Your 7th question, gentlemen, is in the realm of directors. What 1990s thriller was the first collaboration of actor Brad Pitt with director David Fincher?
Hashtag David Flincher.
If you had Brad Pitt's abs for a day, what would you do?
I mean, if I had Brad Pitt's everything, well, you know
Never
what? Let me
give
not
up
go
on it.
4, 3, stay by the countdown. 2,
Thank you.
1. Let's go to Diamond Dave first.
Fight Club.
7.
No!
He knocked it
It
out of the
happened
park
to
once
me
again. He has
again!
7 points. Frank Moran to get his 6th point.
No!
I went Fight Club.
He went Fight Club.
Yeah, he did the same
Incorrect. And so
thing.
now all of a sudden it's a 2-point gap between
stupid
the Diamond
David
one and Bam Bam. Your
Flincher.
final question, gentlemen,
I
in
can
round
never
number 1
separate between
is in the
the
category
two.
of comedies.
Ha 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 ha.
No? We'll move on for a point. The question is, which real-life female music star plays a fictional pop star named Xania in 2006's The Pink Panther? That's Xania spelled Xania.
Well, since I'm not going to get that question right, let me just quickly look something up.
All right, let's see if David Del Rio can lock in a perfect round 1.
4, 3, 2, 1. Before we find out if Del Rio went perfect, we go to Bam Bam.
Beyonce Knowles.
That is correct for a big point. And now for a perfect round 1, Del Rio.
Beyonce Knowles.
That is a big, big score because now,
Those are
Brad,
Noels.
he is
I
going to
always-
field another bonus question for his perfect round. David Del Rio, you do not have to write this down. It's simply within 15 seconds, you can just give us your answer to the question about to be posed by Brad Gilmore.
I love how he scratched out Carter on Beyonce Knows Carter. He wasn't sure if that
You
was
know,
turned
you
out.
noticed that. I was iffy about that. Yeah.
Pretty
I
sure we
liked it.
would have just accepted Beyonce.
Right. Show.
I
All
would.
right, and your bonus question, David Del Rio. Which 1986 action film features supporting performances from Tom Skerritt, Tim Robbins, and Michael Ironside?
Five, 4, 3, 2.
Jeté, please.
All right.
All right, and here's your bonus question again.
Okay, 7 came out before
Which
Fight
1986
Club,
action film
but they were
features
both
supporting
David
performances
Fincher
from Tom Skerritt, Tim
and,
Robbins,
well,
and
I have
Michael
a complicated
Ironside?
history with David Fincher. Let's just put it that way.
Currently 8-6.
I'm gonna guess Alien.
Is incorrect. We were looking for Top Gun. Top Gun.
And even then, it would have been
Classic
Aliens.
Top Gun. And so, Brad, it is a perfect round for
Because
Diamond Dave,
Aliens
although he
came
missed
out
the
in
bonus question. That
86, I
could
believe.
factor in big for Bam Bam's
Alien came out
chances
in
here. It is
79.
still just a 2-point lead for Del Rio over Moran as we shift
I got a 2
into
if you guys can
round
still see the
number
marker, by the way.
2. Here are the rules of round number 2. It's the wheel round, the wheel of fate, doom, and justice. Each competitor gets a spin at the wheel. Once you settle on a category, you're going to hear 4 questions from that particular round. Each question's worth 2 points. No penalty for missing a question. However, stealing is available in round number 2 only. So if you're not sure of the answer, you can ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which we think is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question does recede to 1. So 3 JTE rules still left for Bam Bam, 2 for Diamond Dave, and it is Diamond Dave's decision. Would you like to spin that wheel first or defer to your opponent?
I will defer.
He's going to
Some
defer, so we
defer.
will drop out Diamond Dave, and we will bring in Frank's
Let's
manager.
see which character Winston has on today.
Hey, baby. What's
just
up,
the regular.
Frankie?
Much. I had some dulce de leche cinnamon toast crunch this morning, so I'm feeling all right.
Ooh, oh, you fancy. You got that good. See, I
Yeah.
used to go to the dollar store and get them cinnamon squares is what they call them on the box. So I totally get it, man. Good for you. Couple things. First of all, I see your face. I need you to take that, throw that out the window, put a smile on that face. Because guess...
Off.
Yeah, man, take
Face
the whole
off.
face off. Just Nicolas Cage that mother. Because here's
Did
the
you say
thing.
Nicolas
Yeah, he had a
Cage?
perfect round, but what did he do? He dropped the ball in the bonus question,
That'll be an
meaning he
interesting
can miss
JT
stuff.
moment.
He does that. And you had a great first round. Little known fact that people don't always think about when it comes to this game, 2 points really doesn't make a difference just based
Yeah,
on how the point
absolutely,
system ends
yeah.
up working at the end. So let's go up. Let's go knock round 2 out of the park. And then when he drops his, we'll steal some points, get that back, and then we'll win the match. I'm not even worried about it, baby. You Bam Bam. You know what's funny? He's a diamond in the rough. We're gonna knock his ass all the way back to Agrabah. Let's go.
There it is. Giving it a spin is Bam Bam.
There we go. We say in the FCL, let's give the wheel a whirl right there.
Oh, see, look at
I
that
see
free promo
what
you're
you
giving
did
the World
there.
Bros. That's so nice of you, Brad.
All right, and
Roberto
will it be Bam Bam
Rodriguez.
giving the category of Robert Rodriguez a whirl, or do you want to use your free spin?
I would say that you would do well in this category, but there's things that we really like on this. We should probably spin it again.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Star
Round
Trek
and
is on
round
the
it goes.
wheel.
Got to interview Robert Rodriguez at South by Southwest once.
interesting.
That guy bleeds.
No,
film.
no, 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 no,
He
no, no,
loves
no,
it.
no, no!
Oh no, Brad! It's opponent's choice. They flew too
I ain't
close
worried
to
about
the
that.
sun, and so now we drop out swag and we bring in the dungeon.
Well,
All right, Diamond Dave, and there's the first
gonna
appearance
give him,
of what dozens
Robert
of people didn't
Rodriguez.
ask for, Kaiser. So,
Just
gentlemen,
based on his-
60 seconds to make your decision. What do you want to saddle your
response to
opponent
that.
with?
All right, lay off my coach, baby carrots, please. Okay, so I had a thought, John, is that maybe I want to, and tell me flat out if this is like the wrong way to go, and I'll go after it. But there's rounds. Never mind, because I know the answer to that already. Which one are you thinking?
I like Hathaway or Adams. Which one do you like of those two?
I would
Hathaway?
assume that. Yeah, I would say Hathaway. Yeah.
Well, it's not really what
much
you
time do
like;
we have
it's
left?
what you think he's gonna
we're
do
about
bad
to.
in.
Okay.
We'll give him Hathaway.
Hathaway.
Hathaway there.
Okay, so it is Anne Hathaway is the category, Bam Bam,
Sorry,
and
I
asking
just
you the
had
questions
to.
is going to
When it
be
comes
the
to you,
trusty
you just
voice
gotta
of
go for
Brad Gilmore.
All right, here we go. In the category of Miss Anne Hathaway, Frank Moran, your first question. In what 2004 fantasy rom-com does Anne Hathaway play Ella of Frel?
The Princess Diaries.
That is incorrect.
Yeah, that was my
That is
first answer until I heard the word
Incorrect. So
fantasy
for a steal
rom-com.
opportunity, Brad's going to ask the
Fantasy
same question to
rom-com,
Diamond Dave for
2004.
possible 2-point steal.
All right, and David Del Rio. In what 2004 fantasy rom-com does Anne Hathaway play Ella of Frel?
Is it Ella Enchanted?
That is correct for a big 2-point steal. Big 2 points right there.
2-point steal there. We asked both competitors, just let us see your hands. We saw your eyes closed there, David, obviously, but we just want to see hands as well because, as we know, you are an esteemed hand model. So now we go back to Frank Moran for some points that he now needs, Brad.
Absolutely. He needs these points here moving forward in the realm of Anne Hathaway. Your second question, Frank, is thus. What 2005 film marks the first time that Anne Hathaway lent her voice to an American animated film?
Oh, 2005?
I'll go multiple choice, please.
And your options are, is it A, Rio, B, Flushed Away, C, Hoodwinked, or D, The Ant Bully?
Hoodwinked. Yeah. Well, Flushed Away isn't an American film, so take that out of the running.
I'll go A.
A is incorrect. We're going to go to David Del Rio for the
That's
steal.
Hoodwinked.
David, I
She
will
played
repeat the
Red
question
Riding Hood.
and your options. What 2005 film marks the first time Anne Hathaway lent her voice to an American animated film? Is it A, Rio, B, Flushed Away, C, Hoodwinked, or D, The Ant Bully?
I actually like Hoodwinked. Can I just say that on the internet?
C, Hoodwinked?
I like Hoodwinked. It's not a
Hoodwinked
bad movie.
Is correct.
The
For
sequel's
another
terrible.
1 point there,
but
1
Hoodwinked's
point
a
there.
pretty nice movie.
Here we are, Mark. It is 11-6 currently. David Del Rio in the lead. 2 more questions for Frank Moran in Anne Hathaway. And your next question. Anne Hathaway plays Agent 99 in which 2008 action spy comedy?
Get Smart.
Get Smart is correct for 2 points. Get Smart is correct for an additional 2 points there.
Big answer there. He's got one more question in the world of Hathaway.
All right, and your final question. In the realm of Anne Hathaway.
Anne
Which
Hathaway.
actress co-stars as Anne Hathaway's best friend in the comedy Bride Wars?
Four, three, two.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson is correct for a big 2 points there. Big 2 points. It is 11-10 after Frank Moran's run at the wheel.
Just in the nick of time, he now secures his position in round 3, regardless of what Diamond Dave does in round number 2. And it is now time for David Del Rio's spin. But first, we bring in his manager, Kaiser.
Attaboy. Diamond David Del Rio. Welcome to the dungeon, baby. You're already doing dungeon things.
Diamond Dave
Just
Del
like
Rio
Public
Dungeon.
Enemy, you're number 1, and the dungeon is number 1. All right? How you feeling out there?
Well, the dungeon still is number 1. That is true.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
You're in the zone, man. Stay cool. Use the time on the clock. You got 2 JTEs left. I want to spin that wheel. Let's get something juicy, all right? Come on.
All right, see if there are any Starburst categories here on the wheel for Diamond Dave.
Stay cool, baby. By the way, I got that lot. Go ahead.
Really?
Amy
Well,
Adams.
It is Amy
Well,
Adams.
they
So,
got the
gentlemen,
category
60
they
seconds to
wanted.
deliberate. Do you want to
Or at
stick
least
with Miss
Kaiser
Adams
wanted
or
to
spin
give-
again?
I think I think I can play. with
Yeah,
Amy
I mean,
Adams.
she's. Yeah, I think you keep it. I think you keep it.
Yeah, let's. I'd like to keep Amy Adams, please.
And real quick before, hey, congratulations, Brad, on your acceptance to Delta State University, home of the Fighting Okra. Get out there, join a club, and get good grades, kid. We're all pulling for you in the dungeon.
I appreciate that, Kaiser. Fighting Okra, though. Great field hockey team.
The Fighting Okra do have some nice sports there, but of course, Brad, an enrollee at the esteemed Crimson Tide of Alabama. So now, Diamond Dave, you were deliberating with possibly sticking your opponent with the category of Amy Adams, and now you find yourself in the world of Amy Adams. And here we go. 4 questions, each one worth 2 points, unless you need multiple choice. Your first one is, who plays Amy Adams' sister in the 2008 dramedy Sunshine Cleaning?
Oh, wait, I got the Goodwin question right. Forgot about
Emily
that.
Blunt.
Tough pull there, but he got it for 2 points, and Del Rio on the board here in round number 2. Your next question. David, who directed Amy Adams in the biopic Big Eyes?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton's correct
Why did
and
you give me that
is now
time?
ballooned to a 5-point lead. It's
Saying it's
15 to
correct.
10 with Del Rio over Moran. We moved your penultimate question in the talented world of Amy Adams, and it is, Amy Adams received her first Oscar nomination for what 2000s film?
Yeah. When they don't specify the year, it kind of makes it a little harder.
Junebug.
Have I heard of that? Well, it's correct. That's the important thing. For 2 points, it is now 17 to 10. One more question, and it is that question that is separating David Del Rio from a perfect round 2. Here we go. Which Walking Dead actor plays Al Capone in the film Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian?
Damn. Damn, that's a good one.
John Bernthal.
He might have seen that movie too many times, Brad. That is correct
Really?
for 2 points,
That's
and that
a
is
movie I
perfect
gotta
round
watch
2
again.
for Del Rio.
I like those
He
movies.
has a 9-point lead over Bam Bam. It's 19 to 10 as we careen into round number 3. Gentlemen, round number 3 is the round that will determine the match
gotta
lest
watch
we
those
go
movies
to
again.
sudden death overtime. What we need from each competitor
Gotta
in this
find out
round
exactly
is a
when,
series of
but,
numbers. 3 numbers from each of you. These numerals may range from 1 to 20. You may not pick the same integers as your opponent. Each one corresponds to a unique category of Schmoedown mystery. Your first question that will emerge is 2 points in value. The next one, 3 points. The final one, 5 big points. It is a 9-point lead for Diamond Dave, and so we get your 3 lucky numbers first. Mr. Del Rio, from 1 to 20, what 3 numbers feel fortunate?
Okay. Today, it feels like 11, 4, and 2.
Today is the only day that matters, kids. And now we go to Bam Bam. Your 3 numbers get you back in the game.
5, 6, 7.
Sorry about that.
5, 6, 7, making it easy on us. We always appreciate that. So we are first going to drop out
Apologies.
Bam Bam and bring back David Del Rio's manager.
Ooh, we are on a roll. We are smooth as silk today, baby. That's why you bring Diamond David Del Rio to the dungeon. And by the way, I also filed that lawsuit against David Lee Roth for stealing your nickname. So I'm expecting settlement money to be rolling in soon.
Thank you.
What I'm going to need you here, I'm going to need you to stay cool. Use the clock. Listen to the questions. Repeat the keywords back. You have 2 JTEs, brother. Today is your day. Okay? We ain't won nothing yet. I want you to get in the zone and finish strong. We love having you in the dungeon, man. You're a winner. And just like Public Enemy says, Winston, don't believe the hype.
Inspirational words from Kaiser. Now it's Winston's turn.
Frank, here's the funny thing about it. Kaiser doesn't realize he writes my jokes for me. Don't believe the hype. Yeah, they got 9-point lead. Who gives a damn? Go knock all 3 of your points, your 3 of your questions out the park, and let him flounder. All right, then let them look stupid. I'm here for it. What I'm trying to tell you, baby, is I'm sitting here sipping on this good. All right, you out here looking very fine on this lovely morning. So I want you to go in there. I want you to show them why they call you Bam Bam, baby. And then when it's over, I'm going to Blood Souls and I'm bringing you some damn ribs wherever you at. How about that, Frank? How you feel, son?
I love
I feel
his
hungry.
energy.
I feel hungry, buddy.
Right. He's hungry. He's so hungry. Take me out. I'm done talking. He's hungry. It's time to win. Oh, snap. Wow.
You know, we asked for inspirational words, and I think we got more than we bargained for there, Brad. I do know the executive chef of Blood Souls, so, you know, you want a 10% discount, hit me up. So, Diamond Dave and Bam Bam Frank Moran are back. It is going to be Moran fielding a series of questions first because he's got to catch up to avoid a TKO on behalf of the Diamond. So, Brad Gilmore will be asking Frank his questions. Brad, for his 2-point category, he selected number 5. What does that correspond to?
That corresponds to the realm of Oscar movies. Oscar movies. And your 2-point question, Frank Moran. Martin Scorsese lost Best Director for Goodfellas to what famous actor turned director in 1991?
And it should be pointed out that is the 91 ceremony. The film's release date is 1990.
Actor turned director? 1990?
A couple extra seconds here.
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner is correct for 2 points. Film Dances with Wolves. Was that a favorite of yours?
That was 1990?
I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing, but I saw the beginning and it was very intense. So he selected number 6 as his 3-point category. And this is a question, Brad, that, like the 2-pointer, he's got to have. What's his category?
His category is Black Cinema. Black Cinema will be.
Well, he's on swag.
3-point question, Frank Moran, in the realm of Black
Winston
Cinema.
Likes
and
to
your question.
Share these movies around with his players.
Lawrence Fishburne stars as an LAPD officer who is tasked with going undercover to break up a drug ring in what 1992 film?
Five, 4, 3.
I'll do a repeat, please.
Okay.
All right. And your question. Lawrence Fishburne stars as an LAPD officer who is tasked with going undercover to break up a drug ring in what 1992 film?
Five, 4, 3.
I'll do a repeat, please.
Last one.
All right. Lawrence Fishburne stars as an LAPD officer who is tasked with going undercover to break up a drug ring in what 1992 film?
Moran does have one more JT remaining. Excuse me. 5, 4, 3.
Menace to Society?
And your winner, Diamond David Del Rio. The answer was
Deep cover on an incognito tip. Everybody knows that.
Deep cover. Well, it is a pretty tough 3-pointer, to be honest with you. But David Del Rio, the Diamond one, does survive alongside his manager, Kaiser of the Dungeon. They are still on top and celebrating accordingly, so we'll let them relax in the green room for a sec. And Brad Gilmore, that was the performance that we knew Diamond David Del Rio had in him. Tough break there for Bam Bam, spinning opponent's choice, getting saddled with a category he was less than confident in, but still a very good effort. He had 6 points in round 1. He did well with his first question in round 3. Then he got saddled with a tough 3-pointer that he couldn't pull. But for Diamond Dave, what does this mean for his future? He's now 2-3 and has another TKO.
I mean, it catapults him. His stock just went through the roof. And you know what? Dare I say, the pairing of him and John Kaiser was the one that he needed all along. David Del Rio in the Dungeons family is only going to do great things for him.
Kaiser
I think
all along.
he didn't miss a single question, did he? Did he miss a single? I don't think he missed a single question.
You did not. Well, you missed the bonus question, but he still got 8 points in round 1. He got 8 points in round 2. Did not need to do much more than that because he had a couple steal opportunities in round 2 as well. And that is his first TKO. The other Diamond, David Lee Roth, has one TKO in the Schmoedown as well. Should point that out. And so, speaking of that, with that lawsuit, I hope Kaiser filed that with his own money and not David Del Rio's pocketbook. For more on possibly that mystery and an exclusive post-match interview with the winning faction of the dungeon, here is the one, the only, Jen Sturger.
I said, where's the dog?
I'm sorry, Kaiser. I'm traveling.
You see,
I don't
Diamond,
know how Kevin does in hotel rooms. Like, he's fine when I'm with him, but he could just tear the place up like Motley Crue when I leave him. You know what I mean?
Hey,
there's
a
there
dog.
we go. Del Rio's got his dog. It's
as long as you get your emotional support, that's
that
all
dog
that
has
matters.
a. What am I doing here,
It's tradition
face?
when the dungeon wins.
Why did you wake
usually
me
we're
up from
greeted
my nap?
by Kevin, Jen's dog. Even when I lose sometimes to make me feel better, she'll still bring out the dog. But what is this guy's name?
This is 11-year-old girl Boo Radley.
Boo
Radley. Nice.
That's a beautiful, fine-looking animal. We breed championship animals in the dungeon too, Jen.
I was gonna say though, do you attribute his win and his elevated play to your tutelage, or is it, when you join a faction like the dungeon, do you just automatically kind of raise the stakes and play to the level of the rest of your faction?
Jen, can we just think about this for 1 second? That in free agency, it went all the way through to me, who was in first place, the last guy to pick, and I'm the only guy who had enough common sense to pick up David Del Rio? First of all, why are you dropping him, Kate? Probably because she was dropped a few times, but she was a toddler, I'm guessing. But other than that, this guy I knew was a baller. And, truth be told, David and I knew each other before Schmoedown, and, we were pals. And
I'm sorry.
We'd always said, wouldn't it be great if someday, we could hook up, get on the same team, and play this game together? And let me tell you something. The Schmoedown gods bless me because here he is. He played a killer game. He only missed his freaking bonus question. I mean, this guy loves the game. He loves to compete, and I couldn't be happier to have him in the dungeon.
And let's face it, you kind of, put the last nail in the coffin with the 2-point steal, right?
Those steal. I mean, I got to tell you something. He was just lights out today, David. I mean, it's your first match this season, if I'm correct, right? Your other shifty manager couldn't get you a match, so. I mean, how's it feel being in the dungeon, pal?
Oh, man. I mean, all I wanted to do was just at least show that I can put up a good fight for the dungeon, considering the team players that you have in the dungeon. I mean, just to be part of the same team as these other players is just a dream for me. And, I'm glad I got to show some stuff today.
So I guess, where do we go from here, gentlemen? What's next? Who are you guys looking for? You've obviously improved your record with a big win today with this TKO. So,
Damon.
Do you have your eyes set on anyone?
Dungeon's got some good players.
For me, I'm like, line them up because I know this guy can play. There's going to be a singles tournament coming up. Maybe we can get him in that. I mean, when you got a player who's got the base knowledge, the drive, and the tenacity to get better, like Diamond David Del Rio, man, you just want to get him more matches. In the dungeon, we fear nobody. Welcome to the Terror Dome. You know what I'm saying? We'll go against anybody.
The Terror Dome.
You know it. Winston, you're going to get yours. I'm trying to figure out how many Public Enemy references I can make. Not for nothing. Winston's a great manager. Frank's a good player. Winston took it to me the last time we played, and so, he had one coming, but you can't sleep on swag. They're always in the rearview mirror. They got great players.
Last time they played,
believe the hype, I guess, Winston. I'm going to try and use your joke against myself.
We're done here with all of your references, sir. But congratulations,
Diamond. Welcome to the dungeon, baby.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the dungeon.
Thank you so much.
And for the dungeon, it's a welcome to the brain in the world of movies for Diamond David Del Rio. Like we said, Brad, we knew this guy had a lot better ability than his 1-3 record. That's now 2-3, and some important points there for the lead faction at the moment, the dungeon, as they continue to pad their stats through Season 8 of War. You look at Frank Bam Bam Moran, 2 tough losses now. He goes to 0-2, and more importantly for Team Swag, what does this mean for their future? They're still thirsting for some points.
They're definitely thirsting for some points. A win here today would have been great for them, but to quote Public Enemy, base, how low can you go? Well, hopefully not much lower for Swag. I think that they're in a good position to turn their season around. I think that with Frank Bam Bam Moran, it was one of those things to where when he got the first question wrong, it's like getting the first question wrong on a test. When you sit down for a multiple choice test, you look at it, you get that first question wrong, you're like, oh, maybe I'm in for a tough day. And I think it was a mentality thing a little bit with him, because some of the polls that he was able to get, it shows he is a more than knowledgeable competitor in the movie trivia realm. It's just finding the exact right matchup. Styles make fights. Perhaps he hasn't been saddled with the right matchup for him thus far. But here's the thing. Look, I think he's with the right guy. Michael Jordan didn't win the title until he got Phil Jackson. I think that Winston Marshall is the right person for Frank Moran. It's just a little bit more work, and they'll get there.
An enemy to no one is Jen Sturgis. Now we pitch it back to her for an interview with the Swaggy Blurred and his competitor, Bam Bam.
So not getting those ribs, huh?
Is Kaiser done talking? Because I took my headphones. Just give me a thumbs up, and I'll put them. Okay.
Welcome back to the show.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We good. All right, great. We here.
Obviously, tough loss today, gentlemen. And then having to sit through Kaiser's post-interview and all of his references, I'm sure has you pretty heated at this point, Winston.
Heated? No. It's one of those things that, like, I'm going to bring Frank some blood cells anyway. I already know who I'm going to be as a parent. Like, it's one of those situations where it's like, I swear to God, if you don't clean your damn room, I'm going to beat your ass. And then the next thing you know,
I'm just playing.
I'm just like, here's a PS5. I'm sorry. Your
DNA just here's a PS5.
I'm really proud of Frank, man, just because we got saddled with a category that we didn't want. You know what I'm saying? And he still ended up pulling 2 just straight up without the multiple choice there at the end of the category, man, which was great. He pulled his 2-pointer. Frank really played a good game, but, Diamond Del Rio, he came through and, like, really showed everybody what he's about. So it happens. So I hope you're not holding your head low, my brother.
It'll sting. I mean, there was just, a couple of mistakes that I made in this, and, that's all it takes sometimes for somebody to just start, walk away with it. So.
Was it kind of what Brad mentioned, where it's like once you get that first wrong answer, you kind of start second guessing yourself like the rest of the match, or what was it today?
No, I don't think it wasn't a question of that. I mean, that one was just a dumb mistake, but I felt like I was doing fine until I got to Anne Hathaway. That was one of those where it's just one of those days where the wheels come up with categories and questions that it's like, these are, if I'm ranking them, at my bottom, and I'm getting a lot of those in 2 and 3. So
that's the only thing that I don't appreciate. I'm gonna need Kaiser to turn off whatever bug he has in my house. I don't appreciate you spying on me. I do things in here that are not for public consumption. So, sir, I need you to go ahead and turn that off. My point is, my point is that we genuinely saw the wheel this morning, and we were like, the 2 categories we want to stay away from are probably Amy Adams and Anne Hathaway. So, of course,
categories that came up
should we give them Amy Adams or Anne Hathaway? And I was like, Kaiser, I swear to God, if you ever let out the conversation that I had with Kristen the other week, I will come to your house and murder you. I will straight up kill you. And that's not a joke. That's a promise, sir.
Well, I hope this tape doesn't get used in court against you someday.
Now Kaiser has to live forever. God damn it.
So I guess, where do we've been struggling. Obviously, Swag's been struggling this season. How do we turn this around?
Had a great
tournament
season last year.
Damn. No, Frank, no.
What happened? What did I miss?
Everybody from top to bottom is
a joke. Come on.
Everybody faces this type of match where it's just like, it just doesn't go your way. I've watched some of the greatest in this game in all the interviews that I've done, I've watched some of the greatest in this game have the exact same type of match where they just get saddled with something that they don't know. Case in point, Dan Murrell and what was it, Romance or Romanticom? I think it was Romance. Absolutely did him in. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think you just take these experiences and you learn from them and you kind of basically figure out where your gaps are and you study those up. You really study up.
1,000%, man. And I think the big thing to remember is like, that's the thing. Like you said with Dan Murrell, people all over this league, but like everybody on Swag has had a bad game this season. It happens. But the thing is that we've watched everybody grow leaps and bounds as far as what they've been able to do and how they've been able to push themselves. So even Pauliyama, who was shooting like crazy good against Ethan, missed one question and that cost him a match. You know what I'm saying? Or he had a check down and it cost him a match. So like, do not beat yourself up about this because the best of us have bad games. And honestly, man, for what is being considered a bad game here, you still did really well. And I'm very proud of you. So that just means we go back to the drawing board and we hit it harder.
Yeah. Thank you for the group therapy session, guys. I appreciate that. Let me pour myself out there for you, and you build me back up.
Now, do you want mild barbecue sauce or hot barbecue sauce?
Can you guys handle this like hot after the interview? All right.
No, I'm just trying to make everybody else hungry.
Thanks for the offer, Winston.
You live on the other side of Los Angeles now, okay? You want to come down to Hollywood? I'll buy you some barbecue too.
All right, tough loss today, guys, but you seem to be in good spirits. I feel good about this. So take care, all right?
Thanks, Jen.
Brad, if Winston Marshall is the life coach for Bam Bam, I think that Jen Sturger is all of our life coaches. And she was at least able to talk Winston down from possible degree 1 murder back to just going to a barbecue joint of repute in Hollywood. So we have that going for us. And Bam Bam, again, tough loss dropping to 0-2, but I don't think Swag is done with him yet. And I don't think he is done with the Schmoedown. Still a lot left in his career. The story today, Diamond David Del Rio. What an announcement. What a statement he made in his debut match this season.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that is how you want, especially when you're someone who gets dropped and then picked up by another team. You feel like you have to show and prove a little bit. And boy, is his former management kicking themselves in the you-know-where because David Del Rio came out and he was, on fire. He was like Jeff Green in the playoffs, just nailing 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. And I just really appreciated the performance that both men put in, but David Del Rio coming up strong.
I love a fellow announcer who enjoys action in sports. Not just the movie Trivia Schmoedown, although we are one of the hottest sports on the market right now. It is the world's finest movie trivia show, and you are a part of it. And to be even more a member of this community, check out our Facebook fan page. Follow us wherever you enjoy social media. And, of course, make sure that you check out the movie Trivia Schmoedown Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and in exchange, we give you some nice perks, behind-the-scenes access, and at that $10 a month and above tier, you get exclusive viewing rights to live pay-per-views at least 3 times a month. It's one of the best deals in sport right now. And so that is all for us today. Congratulations to Diamond David Del Rio and the Dungeon and his manager. Kaiser lawsuit pending aside. I am Mark Baby Carrots Ellis for the great Frank Moran, Jen Sturger, Brad Gilmore, Winston Marshall, our behind-the-scenes team, our writing staff, and, of course, Christian George Harloff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here at the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Okay, well, like they said, it was a tough match. Frank just, like he said, he got a couple of points. Couple of questions that he didn't want to get, and he hoped he wouldn't get. Again, same thing as the Ben Goddard match. Opponent's choice. What can you do? When you're settled with a category you don't necessarily want, you could surprise people and excel in that category, but how often does that happen? Like, be honest. But, and obviously there really isn't much you can do against someone playing a perfect game. Am I right? So there's that. And TKO for the Dungeon, a -1 for Swag. It's sad for me to see Swag so low in the standings this year, especially considering how well they did last year. But, sometimes you have those years. Just look at the Dungeon. had a terrible season last year, and now they're number 1, basically from the start of the season. Same thing as Finstock Exchange didn't have the greatest years last year. Now they're second place, I believe. So yeah, it happens, and like I said, there really isn't much you can do on that. I only answered 4 questions, and I think next match is probably going to be the last match I'm going to do with this marker. But, you know, gotta get down to record it first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and be back in just a second. See you then. Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.